We begin here at 5 o'clock with new action in the homeless crisis. It's not just a Portland problem. They've been struggling to deal with it in Astoria, too. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter. Tonight, Astoria now has new rules when it comes to camping in public places. Blair Best reports from the coast.
It's public places like here on Commercial Street in downtown Astoria, where people are now only allowed to camp from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. But those living on the streets say they have nowhere else to go.
This doesn't help nothing.
There are places to go in the daytime. There's really no place to go at night.
I don't feel like it's a good idea for the city and or anywhere to say you can't be someplace if there's no designated place for someone to be.
Last week, the city of Astoria passed an ordinance which allows camping on public property between the hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. People can use sleeping bags, small tents, and tarps, but can't take up more than 50 feet of space. Ozark ORAC runs Lifeboat Services, one of the only organizations helping those experiencing homelessness in the city.
It really sucks, you know. In my opinion, it's inhumane. You know, they're just moving people along, displacing people so they can be where? They can go to the next place to get displaced from.
The problem is nobody knows when or where this stuff's happening.
Rob spent 7 years on the streets. He doesn't think the ordinance will make a difference.
People are going to sleep when they want to. They really can't stop that. And a lot of people that are living on the streets are on their last leg. I know quite a few people out here that know they're dying.
You see that hotel over there?
John has lived on the streets in Astoria for 10 years. Now he lives in a nearby hotel. He agrees with regulating when people can sleep on public property.
I think there have to be some limits. There needs to be a place where they can congregate, and usually that's in one of several public parks.
Sometimes it's quality of life issues, behavioral type of things, public intoxication.
The police department gets numerous calls every day from residents and local business owners complaining about those living on the streets.
I think that the ordinance will give us another tool to address some of the camping issues. However, it's not a permanent solution.
Some of these groups of unhoused peoples have made our residents and visitors and business owners feel unsafe, and that's unacceptable.
Mayor Bruce Jones hopes the ordinance will help both residents and the homeless.
It's helping the people who are screaming about the fact that they can see homeless people.
There's arguments on both sides, and I understand why folks who are advocates for the unhoused would not want any ordinances that place any restrictions whatsoever on camping on public places. But from the perspective of the residents of our community, of our visitors, and our business owners, it's unacceptable to have people allowed to simply camp out for long periods of time.
In July, the city will discuss a list of places where camping will also soon be prohibited. In Astoria, Blair Best, KGW News.
In Clark County now, a fire that started in a large homeless camp quickly threatened nearby trees. It happened this morning by I-5 and Highway 99 near the BPA Ross complex. Firefighters aren't sure yet what caused the fire, but say it spread to trees and debris. They were able to put it out. One person was hurt, but is expected to survive. A small plane crashed in Vancouver and it killed one person this morning. Rescuers found the plane on fire about 7:30 on the runway at Pearson Airfield. It's unclear at this point what caused the crash, but the NTSB and FAA are investigating. The victim's name has not been released yet.
Nothing justifies this horrific crime and what was done to Travis. Since he's been gone, our life's been destroyed.
It has been 10 months since a 26-year-old Marion County man was stabbed to death inside his home. Now his family is offering a reward in hopes of finding whoever is responsible. Bryant Clerkley was at the news conference this morning in Salem, and Bryant, the family is pleading for answers.
Yes, Laurel, the Jutton family wants those answers soon. Last August, Travis and his wife were found stabbed in their rural Marion County home. Travis was killed and his wife survived the attack. The family has raised $50,000 for a reward for anyone with information that leads to an arrest and conviction of whoever is responsible. It happened on Northeast Hazel Green Road and Howell Prairie Road in the early morning hours of August 13th, 2021. Now, this investigation is still ongoing, but as of now, the family is asking anyone with information to come forward. Travis's mother, brother, and other family members spoke this morning in front of the Marion County Courthouse in Salem.
By offering this reward, we are begging someone to come forward with anything you may have heard of or saw, even if you think it's insignificant. It might be the last piece of the puzzle that law enforcement is looking for.
Since the investigation is ongoing, there's no additional details being released about Travis's murder. Every day, the family holds out hope that someone will come forward. Anyone with any information on Travis's murder should contact the Marion County Sheriff's Office. We have details on the detective's contact info on our website, kgw.com. Laurel.
Well, hopefully this reward helps. Thank you, Bryant. More damage in southeast Portland following a protest at Colonel Summers Park. After gathering at the park last night, the protesters marched to a First Image building at Southeast 20th and Main. They then broke windows and sprayed graffiti. First Image works to help people with unsupported pregnancies. They lease their space at the building from Hinson Baptist Church. We spoke to a staff pastor about the damage.
The thing that's more significant is just how the neighborhood feels. These are people doing good work, doing hard work to create good bonds and relationships in the community. And it just feels a little violating, I think, for our friends who work here and who are trying to reach out and do good work in the community to have their space targeted and damaged like this.
First Image has been targeted several times recently. There was an arson attack at their Pregnancy Resource Center in Gresham earlier this month. A different First Image center in southeast Portland was also vandalized. Frustration is mounting for the owners of a juice company based in the Gorge. They say thieves are stealing fuel from the trucks parked outside their northeast Portland distribution center. And as Mike Benner explains, the thieves aren't siphoning the gas, they're stealing it by drilling straight into the gas tanks.
Tucked away in a business park east of the airport is Columbia Gorge Distributing's Portland distribution center. It's hidden to most people, but not all, namely thieves.
Over the last, 5 years, it's almost common, like to the point we come out and check the trucks in the morning.
Operations manager Eric Fleming says in recent years, thieves have zeroed in on the company's trucks. Among other things, they've stolen vehicle batteries and juice out of the back of trucks.
Usually what they steal doesn't cost a lot, but the damage they cause trying to get it is what the real problem is.
Fleming says thieves have even siphoned gas, which explains the new gas caps that require a key. That's not stopping the thieves, though. Fleming says late Sunday night, at least one person, maybe several, drilled straight into the gas tanks on 3 trucks. They stole what fuel they could while letting the rest drain out.
It's very frustrating because we couldn't even use our trucks yesterday. So not only are we buying new gas tanks, some people aren't making their wage, and we didn't make any money. We lost money yesterday, probably.
Eric says he's thinking about adding fencing around the company trucks, but he fears that'll be one more thing for thieves to damage.
Eric says it could be several weeks before all 3 trucks are fully operational again. He says for the time being, they will look at renting or borrowing trucks from other companies just to get their work done. As always, anyone with information about this case should contact the Portland Police Bureau. Reporting in Northeast Portland, I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
A 3-day heat wave is now over in the Rose City, but for many Portlanders, the fight over climate change continues. Activists are rallying and demanding the city of Portland keep its promises on the issue. They're also marking 1 year since the historic heat wave that killed about 100 Oregonians. Galen Etlin reports.
Inferno here! A small demonstration in front of Portland City Hall Monday marked the anniversary of 2021's historic heat dome.
This was an event that we knew was going to be inevitable because of the climate crisis.
I claimed 96 Oregon lives with that hot mess.
Climate change is here. It's real. It's killing people.
Lynn Handlin with the nonprofit Extinction Rebellion PDX called out the city.
They need to, for realsies, act now on a climate emergency.
For the continuity of the human race, there's nothing less at stake.
On Sunday, Mayor Ted Wheeler and Multnomah County leaders memorialized lives lost to the historic heat dome. He said in 2020, the city declared a climate emergency. And now, 2 years later, $4 million is budgeted for climate action to make buildings greener and to plant trees in neighborhoods that are heat islands.
The best time to have planned for these emergencies was 20 years ago. But we didn't.
He has all the right words. We need deeds. We need action.
Diane Meisenhelter says the city's actions are not enough.
If we don't do prevention it's not going to work and harm will happen. Deaths will continue.
Extinction Rebellion PDX says the city's goals to cut emissions are at odds with its decision to approve the widening of I-5 by the Rose Quarter.
You widen freeways, you have more cars. Climate change is worse. The air quality in the area is worse.
We are appalled by the city's inaction.
The group is calling on an end to construction of buildings that use natural gas and for the city to reduce emissions by 10% annually.
Were you hot and bothered?
The bigger goal is to prevent an increasing number of weather events like the heat dome that killed so many.
It is a disgrace to their memory if we don't address the cause of these rising temperatures.
This is a somber week to remember.
A small demonstration with a big message.
That's the only way we're going to solve this, is to work together across the generations and across groups.
In Portland, I'm Galen Etlin for KGW News.
City and county leaders have declared this Heat Week in memory of the heat dome. It's to raise awareness of resources and heat preparedness. Events this week include seminars, bike rides, and first aid training. We've linked to the event listings on KGW.com.